Hey y'all, it is Luca and welcome back to the channel. So in The Sims 4, there is a fun feature that we've known about this for a long time, but it is a feature unique to The Sims 4 and it's called styled rooms. These rooms are just pre-made rooms that the EA created. Usually we get some with each new pack, if it's like a build pack. They're really handy if you're, having a hard time building a house. You don't really know how to set up a kitchen, or you're unsure, or you just don't have the time. You can just plorp one of these down and then Bob's your uncle, you got a kitchen. But I thought today we could just take some of these and transform them. Try fixing them. I'm gonna leave the furniture that is in them. So I'm not gonna get rid of anything. I can change the swatches. I can maybe move it around if I want. Essentially, I want to keep the vibe the same, but I just want to see what I can do with what I got, So yeah, I thought we could just focus on these few rooms here today. These are all base game only, but I'm only gonna be using the base game as well to renovate them today. But before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to the Creator Network for sponsoring the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, go ahead and use my creator code luccaowens at checkout. I receive a small commission based off of that little sale. All you got to do is type in my creator code in the promo code section and Bob's your uncle. I don't know why I'm loving that saying today. Anyways, big thanks to everyone for using my code, and thank you so much to EA for sponsoring the channel. Without further ado, let us begin. So we're going to start with this little kitchen here. This is called Linoleum Dream. It sure is, huh? If you could call it that. Which I don't know what it is, but you can see in every one of these rooms, they used the kids ceiling light. It's literally called kids ceiling light from the base game. I don't know what their obsession was with that light. I guess at the time of creation, this was the cheapest light before, they made that subtle saucer light really cheap. That's just a theory though. But we're going to get rid of that because I'm not having that in the build. Please, I can't. So we're just going to put down the saucer light for now. What I'm going to do just to start out is I'm going to change the cabinets because we did get, these beautiful swatches some time ago, and that transformed it already. I am going to also move the sink and the stove around. I just feel like that felt really weird and awkward having the sink right here, and I don't know, it just felt strange. I almost want to put the sink here actually. Yeah, I want there to be a counter space in between. That's a much better layout. And then we can just add some lovely little cabinets. Should I do it like this? I feel like that looks kind of strange. I think I'll do it the other way around. And I am going to add a range hood as well. Let's see. I probably am just going to add this one right here. It tends to fit in most builds. Ooh, that doesn't look good with that cabinet. We're just going to do this instead. There we go. I feel like that already looks so much better. We're not even going to change the appliance colors. We don't even need to do that. There is a trash can, so I won't forget, thankfully. And for the dining table, I really want to kind of lean into the kind of autumnal, kind of witchy colors today. And we're going to go with more like dark woods and purples and oranges. We'll just give them a little, dining space here. Maybe these chairs I'll leave the white swatch on so it kind of works with the, other white swatches. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so this is kind of the setup of this build, this little room. I am going to add a window just because, come on. Let me move the room over. You can see, look at that lighting. So much better, so much nicer. Should I add a window here too? I feel like that would be nice. Ooh. Yes. However, I kind of like it being no window because it looks more realistic. I'm just kind of imagining this being in an apartment. For the flooring, I think I just want to go with maybe something like this. I don't know why, but I feel like the warm colors are going to be more the vibe today. Yeah, that's a lot nicer. And then for the walls, I think I'm going to go with this kind of plum kind of color. That's very nice. And then there's going to be some tiling as well. We have a lovely dark green tiling, but now I want to change the flooring again to something more like this. Ooh, that's very pretty. I quite like that, actually. I like this combination. And then we just need to add in a little rug here, just something, just to kind of fill in the space just like that. And I think we're going to go with this kind of purpley kind of color, sort of. I think I'm going to change these swatches around. I feel like the woods aren't quite what I like. That's better. And I think I want to add some other little decor, some other little bits and bobs. So I'm going to add like a shelf right there. I guess I can put one like that just to kind of keep it from looking weird and awkward. And I feel like we need some kind of lighting as well. I usually use this lighting here, this picture perfect art lighting. I can just use move objects and just hold down Alt and place it down very lightly. And that adds some extra light under the cabinet so that it just, I don't know, it feels less dingy in here. I'm going to move the counter out and then just kind of place it like so. This is purely so that it doesn't get in the way of your Sims, you know, being able to prepare food since there's only one slot open here. I also want to add a little thing of hand soap. I feel like that would make sense right there. Very simple, little basic little bits and bobs. I guess I can put some other utensils up here just for fun. I don't know. Ooh, we can put a little salt, pepper shaker right there. Maybe some books. I don't know what goes in a kitchen. I mean, I should know. Yeah, we can just put, you know, like a little painting. Ooh, can we fit this? I mean, that doesn't really fit, but I do want to put this in here. This little knife block. It fits kind of perfectly with the colors. Where did it go? That was weird. It just like disappeared. It just completely disappears when I move that. Oh goodness. Okay, let's place this down properly this time. We'll put it right there and we'll put the paper towels right next to it. That looks nice. And then just for the sake of cluttering up my spaces, I'm going to use this OMSP shelf by Picture Amoeba. Really good item for cluttering up surfaces. Basically, it just has a lot of slots so that everything snaps to it, so I can easily just use move objects to place some stuff down. It's a really big help, especially whenever things won't, you know, sit on top of, you know, a shelf for some reason, even though they clearly should. Ooh, we put this little cookie jar on top of the refrigerator, maybe. I kind of want to get rid of the shelf there and just kind of like do this. I don't know. It looks a little bit strange, but we'll just like not look at it too much. Yeah, and we can use this, you know, little shelf here to properly clutter the top of the refrigerator here. Since this is the base game, I don't exactly have a lot to put up here, to be perfectly honest. So I'm just gonna kind of, you know, clutter it up the best that I can. That's actually all right. That looks pretty good in my opinion. I think the next thing I want to do is like just maybe find some wall art. Ooh, I'm a big fan of this sunflower painting in the base game. And yeah, we can just kind of do like a collection of art possibly here. Ooh, I do like these 3 paintings here. This looks very nice and a little bit witchy and autumnal, sort of. I kind of want to put something here in the corner too. Aren't those one items? They're not china cabinets. They're like these. This little like kind of corner shelf kind of moment. I think we have another one possibly, but that looks very nice there in the corner. And then we just need a nice little curtain. Maybe this one, honestly. You know, we'll use this orange swatch, but it does have dinosaurs on it. So just don't look at it too close because the orange actually works so well, and I kind of like how chunky it looks. The very last thing we should do is add in a boob light, of course. I just do that because honestly the lighting from these lights are just really realistic, and plus they're already just like a nice warm color. You know, I'm gonna make this trash can orange just for the heck of it. We went from this very boring beige, blue, and gray kitchen to something that's a bit more refined and a little warmed up, and you know, we didn't even have to really change too much. It's actually quite nice. And then the next room that we're going to be working on is this little bathroom. I'm just copying and pasting them so that we can see a before and after. We love a before and after on this channel. If you know, you know. Okay, so first things first, we need a new lot, because what is that? I'm going to make the bathtub white just because I feel like the black is a little too much, unless I do solid black. I don't know. I'm not really too sure what to do with this. Ooh, the yellow is kind of fun. What if we use the yellow as a jumping off point? I kind of like that idea of going with like kind of yellowy kind of colors in here, even though that's not exactly a color you always want to be reminded of in a bathroom. To be perfectly honest with you, I kind of just want to go with the same color scheme again in this little space, because like I can't get away from green. And then for the other walls, I kind of want to go with like a purpley color. This is kind of similar to the one in here. It's actually almost exactly the same. What if we did like a little green bathroom? Ooh, I kind of don't hate that idea. I just need to find a green that kind of works with what we've got. That kind of works. It's very dark, but honestly, I like a darker bathroom. I've noticed in my adult life, I like a darker bathroom. And there is a matching green floor. Ooh, wait a minute. This is kind of doing something for me. I feel like we kind of have to add a window just for the sake of light. I mean, realistically, if you're going to be building this or using this in your original home, you should add windows for sure. Just for the sake of there being some lightness, but this looks so much nicer already. And then we'll add, the usual stuff, a little toilet roll there, toothbrush, hand soap, the essentials, at least I hope. And then I can't get rid of anything, so I am just going to keep this little mirror, but I am going to add like a little light above this. And I think we do need to add this as well. Ooh, I kind of like the green on green, but maybe we should just go with black. That actually looks quite nice though. Maybe we can make this a brown. Wait, what if we did that? I am the king of indecision. I'm just saying. I am going to use the 9 key to lift this up a couple notches because it seemed a little low there. And I think I'm just going to make this bathtub solid white. Okay, that's actually quite nice. That makes me feel a little bit better. And then let's see, what kind of rug should go in here? Something cozy. I'd want something maybe like a brown rug, honestly. Yeah, just something like this. Maybe this round rug will do better because then, you'll have something to sip out on, but you can also stand on it as well. And then maybe we can just put in some nice clean white shades. Do we want white shades or do we want brown shades? Or do we want these orangey ones? I feel like the white just is cleaner looking. You know what? I'm not liking that it's all green. I think that's what's throwing me off here. I think I am going to go with the purple. The purple just speaks to me more, and I kind of want to go with an orangey kind of flooring. Or do we go with this? Wait a minute. I quite like that. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I get so indecisive, and I go in 3 different directions at once. It's the ADHD, just so you know. There we go. That is so much better. I knew the black accents were correct in the beginning. But yeah, that's a cute little bathroom. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I'm not going to really add any more clutter since it is such a small space. I'm just going to add a boob light. Honestly, yeah, we had this sad little gray, sad little bathroom. And then, we kind of fixed it up. Not a whole lot going on in here, but I think it looks very nice. The next room is this cozy little bedroom here called Snooze Cruise Control. And yeah, they kind of just put the default swatches on everything, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to change these to brown, of course. And the flooring is carpet. We're ripping that up. Okay, we're giving them a nice wooden floor because you know me, carpets are just kind of questionable sometimes. Like, carpets are nice because they're comfortable, they're quiet, they have a lot of good benefits. But, carpet is just one of those things that people I think are very opposed to anymore because of the maintenance and the risks. I think we have a nice little rug situation here. I do need a little side table. I'm going to use this one, I think. Yes, this one right here. It's small enough to where it can fit here without, getting in your Sim's way. And then I need some kind of just little bedside lamp, something pretty simple. Ooh, but this little fox one, oh, it's so cute. Honestly, I should maybe make the walls a color that kind of goes with this. Probably this kind of like brownish color maybe. I don't know if that looks better or worse. I do quite like this color though, to be honest, even though normally I would say ew. I don't mind it. I'm gonna go ahead and add the boob light in just because the lighting will look better. And of course I am going to add some windows as well. Adding a window is always going to make the space look better. These rooms are going to look bad regardless because there's no natural light, but also there's no view outside. Should I do orange? Ooh, these sagey green are actually quite nice. It's kind of soft and cozy in here. I like the vibes. Maybe we'll give them a little TV perhaps. I wish we had a TV that looked more realistic. Maybe this one. And what about some books? books. These actually serve as a proper bookshelf kind of situation too, so we can place these on down. And what else can we put here? I almost want to put like, I don't know, just some other decorative bits and bobs. I don't really want to put a lamp there. Ooh, this little dragon is cute. It's a little dragon sculpture. I feel like that's a perfect little thing to put in here. Do we have like some kind of like candle or lamp? This one's kind of a vibe. Actually, that looks pretty dang cute there. I'm not mad about that. I feel like a mirror above the dresser would be really nice because that would add in, you know, it would actually expand the space a little bit more and reflect some of the outdoor light into here a little bit. Maybe it's just something like this one. Honestly, that's cute. And there's not really a lot of space to add a bunch of clutter in here. So I do want to add maybe a little hamper possibly, maybe here at the foot of the bed. That actually fits quite well there. And then we can also add in the little basket. This is just some folded laundry here. We can add this like right on top. Oh, that looks so nice. You know, it's about personalizing the space and, you know, just focusing on, you know, like what works in here. What is like, you know, something that can add life into this space. Like I can add in a robe hanging up here. Like they've just hung their robe up after the shower. That looks really cute. Can we put this on the door? I feel like that looks so realistic on the door. And then I guess since this could be maybe like a teen room or something, I could probably put up something along that line. Maybe just something simple like this art right there. I feel like this isn't really like a teen room. It's giving more of like a guest room. This little rooster painting is cute. I think this is a nice little transformation. It's very simple and clean, but we went from this to this. I do think that looks a lot better. You know what? I kind of like the vibes so far. That looks pretty nice. But the next room is this room right here. This one is just called Eating Essentials. And boy, is it something. It's very simple indeed. Well, first and foremost, if I was to have a dining room, I would want there to be lots of natural light. So I'm going to put 2 windows right here. So I'm thinking I might just move the table up against the wall here, just because I feel like it's such a small room. And I'm going to actually add a couple more chairs. We're obviously going to make everything a nice wood tone. That looks a lot better, I think. We'll get them a new light too, because that's ridiculous. Like, come on, that ugly kid's light. There we go. And then for the flooring, I kind of just want to use this flooring that I used in here again. That makes it nice and, you know, cozy in here. And I don't hate this yellow, but it's not really the vibe. You know, weirdly, like this wallpaper, it's kind of speaking to me today. This is a dining space. I don't really like it up against the wall like that, even though that makes it so cramped right here. Maybe I'll like swap it around. That's not so bad. It is very tight right here. Your Sims can technically get through there, so, you know, just bear with me on that. I wish these candles were actually lightable. That would be really cute, but we'll just put some candles there in the middle. We'll add a nice little rug here, probably this one. I usually go for this one quite often. And then for the curtains, I should probably just go with some orange ones. I mean, I kind of want to do something a little different. Probably this curtain right here. It's kind of dramatic, but I don't know. That looks really nice, actually. I haven't added any plants into any of these spaces, which is kind of ridiculous. I feel like I need to at least add like a flower or something. Oh, how I wish that this item right here had like purple flowers, but it doesn't. It just has white. Maybe just this little thing of sunflowers right here would look really cute. That's very nice. I'm actually going to use this item once again. We use it in the kitchen. I think that looks quite nice there in the corner. And then I feel like if you're in a dining room, I feel like the one thing you're going to want to see is some kind of art. Oh, this looks cute there. And maybe on this side I can do like this one here because it's like, it looks like some like family portraits and stuff. Should I put maybe a plant here in the corner? I feel like that would look kind of nice, like just a small plant. I was actually thinking about swapping these around and putting chairs like that. I feel like that looks okay. Now for the functionality of the space, I can't guarantee. I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't guarantee it, but it does look a lot nicer at least. I think the last thing I'm gonna add in here is just a nice lamp. Maybe this one. I feel like the green will look good. Okay, we went from this really empty, sad little low-key interrogation room vibes to a cozy little space just like this. I really like this. This is just an excuse for me to go through each of these rooms and just make them more autumnal and witchy and, use a lot of purple and orange and green. The next room is this one right here. This room is called In Case of Company. And this room is just a little living room. First of all, why is it not like this? Why didn't they place it like that? I'm going to go ahead and just redo the layout. That seems a lot better. And then we can obviously add windows. That's probably the first thing you should do with any of these rooms is add some windows because you need lots of natural light. Maybe I'll just do like a couple windows like that possibly. And then let's see, we'll change the covers of the couch. I kind of want to do just like a dark brown. What else is new, right? I changed everything to brown. Actually, I already like that more. And then for the walls and the flooring, I kind of want to do like a really cozy green living room. I feel like that's almost too cozy. It's very dark, but you know me, I think it would be very nice. I think I want to change the flooring to something like this. That adds a lot of character in here. Well, of course, give them the new boob light. I think this corner, it's begging me to put a bookshelf in here. And just to kind of keep everything matching, I'll just use this one from the base game that matches the, the other furniture in here. Okay, that looks pretty nice. We need just like a nice painting right here. Ooh, I kind of like this one today. This one's kind of speaking to me. Ooh, I like it. And then I'm guessing they would want a TV, right? I mean, it's a living room. I guess I'll put it here, possibly. I feel like putting it here would make the most sense. It could be like one of these like art paintings with this like chest here. Ooh, yes. Because I feel like if I put it here, it would be all right, but it would kind of block some space. I don't know. I just like it being here a little bit more. Technically, it probably should go here. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. We'll get rid of that extra window and just put the painting TV there. Yeah, that obviously makes way more sense. And then for the curtain, I kind of want there to just be like a very simple curtain, just like this one. We could do this gray one. I feel like that just looks nice because it's a slightly warm gray. And I can even place it down like this, just so that I can like kind of fake a bigger curtain. Yeah, that looks nice. I feel like there needs to be something here and it's kind of bothering me. So what if we added maybe like one of these tables here? We put the boom box. I hate that the boom box doesn't snap onto this surface because like, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? So we'll just put that there. And then I think here we should put like a nice lamp, maybe just this one. Yeah, that one's nice. And then we can put like other decorative decorative items. Let's put a plant here, another plant there, and then of course I'll put another painting or set of paintings. I kind of like this above that as well. And then down here we can put some other like decorative pieces, maybe just like this little team photo down here, some CDs. I feel like putting the CDs actually would be kind of cute just because the radio is here. Ooh, I kind of like this vintage looking phone just kind of being on display. That's very nice. And yeah, I'm just gonna add some other like bits and bobs, some books. We can maybe even take some stacks of these and just kind of set them down on the floor here just to add some realism. Okay, I feel like this room is pretty much done. I do need to add a nice rug. I really want to use this rug today. I don't know why. It just kind of is speaking to me. And I kind of like it in that swatch. That's kind of a fun living room. It's very different, but I really like it. So we went from this little sad setup here, very gray, very dark, to something even darker, but cozier. I didn't put anything right here, I'm realizing. And that's probably an issue. It's gonna throw me off. That's cute, honestly. The next room is called Room to Think. And this is just a little cozy little office space. Now, personally, I want my office to have lots of windows. So we're gonna put 2 windows on either side. We've got this bookshelf right here. And part of me wants to actually get rid of this window. Oh, I can't though. I have to have a window. I have to have a window to look out. It just feels wrong if I don't. What if I put this one here, but I also put one on the other side? I feel like that would look all right. What if we did that? And then maybe on either side, we can maybe add some kind of like accent tables or something. I don't know if that looks good or is functional, but I think it looks okay. It kind of makes this more of like a built-in kind of situation, sort of, possibly. And then maybe we can even add some cabinets. I feel like that would be kind of weird, but at the same time, I feel like it would add some, height in here. That's kind of nice. And then, what's an office without a computer, at least at this point in time? We'll just put one of these. I kind of want to put like a nice little lamp like this instead of a normal office lamp. I feel like that just makes it so much nicer and more warm. This chair, I'm just going to make it black just to kind of help it blend in a little bit more. Now the wallpaper, I would love it to be something kind of soft, something a little different. It's going to be hard for me to not just use green again. So I probably should use something a little different. I kind of like this color. It's nice. It's soft. We'll just use, I kind of want to use this flooring again because I really liked it in the last one. And then maybe we can put some kind of rug in here. Ooh, this one's kind of interesting. I kind of like this rug. I don't know why, but that color is kind of speaking to me. Ooh, that one is kind of speaking to me. I'm trying to use different colors than just brown and green. So I'm using brown and brown instead. Okay. That's something. I don't really like this lamp now. I feel like I need something more like this. This is kind of cute. And then for the windows, maybe I don't really know what kind of curtains. Maybe I should do some shades possibly. Ooh, but these look super cute. That's not really a proper curtain, but I kind of do like that. That's super cute. I like the color at least. Maybe I'll put like a blind right here, and then on this window we can just put like a cute little thingy-ma-doo just like that. I don't know why, but I like that. And then we will obviously add in the boob light, of course. Okay, this is looking kind of cute. I do want to add some other little, clutter items, of course, like this little box of doodads. It's kind of looking a little bit strange right here, so I'll just kind of place it like so. And then maybe just like a little baskets of things, Ooh, some like art. That would be kind of cute. I wish we got some more art like this in this little painting, to be honest. That would be kind of a cute little addition. This little notebook here. Of course, I'm going to put that in like every build all the time, always. I feel like we need some hobbies in here. I always go for the painting, like the easels, just because I feel like that's such a nice little addition to any space, purely because it makes your Sims a lot of money. I could also put in a chess table. That would be actually quite nice right in here, maybe. It's kind of cramped though, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I'm just going to put it against the wall here, and then maybe, I don't know. I don't think we'll include that. I think we'll just have that. Ooh, wait a minute. This little bonsai tree. Ooh, that's cute. Should we put a bookshelf right here? I feel like that's a yes. Maybe something like this. This is kind of nice. It's kind of cramped, but I actually quite like it. We went from this little, sad little white box to something a lot more lively and cozy and colorful. I actually really, really like this space a lot. The next room is called Simple Sleeper. First and foremost is the door being right here next to the bed. That's a big no-no. So you're gonna take the bed and put it right here instead. This feels a lot better because then the flow of traffic isn't, getting in the way of the bed. That's already a much better setup. I'm gonna move the lamp over here, I think, and change the color first of all. Let's see, I've done green, I've done brown. Orange I've kind of overdone. I don't know, what am I thinking? Just do orange. Just go with your instinct. I hate that I have to use this rug. So we're just gonna make it brown, and I'm going to pick out this flooring. I really love this flooring. It's from the base game. Ooh, we have this light here too, and we have this painting. Oh, they kind of went extra with this room. I personally think I want this to just be like here, maybe here. Oh, that's looking nice. And then we do need to add some windows in here, just because obviously I can't do no windows. We'll do a really big 3 wide window there. I'll add in the boob light, of course. And then what kind of walls should we put in here? What kind of wallpaper? Personally, I would want something a little bit more darker and cozier. That's just my personal opinion. I don't really like this though. Maybe I don't want something dark. Maybe I like lighter colors. What am I thinking? That's silly of me. However, I'm not liking any of these. I feel like the orange on this cabinet is just a little too much. I think we'll go with brown, of course. I like this green, but to be honest, I kind of wish it was darker and not as saturated. I want it to be very deep green, but we'll just go with that maybe. It still looks good. And then we'll just add in, the proper stuff. I think I'm going to add in some matching little side tables here that match the wardrobe. Kind of move all this against the wall a little bit nicer. Ooh, I kind of don't hate those lamps. I don't like the bedside tables. They're very boring to me. I kind of want to use something a bit more like these that have a little bit more color to them. Or what about these? These are actually nice. So in order to kind of make them work, I'm going to move this bed into the wall a little bit. I don't know. I think that does look a little weird now. That doesn't look so bad. I kind of like that. I don't think I love how many lights there are in here. So I think I'm actually just going to find a different lamp. Maybe I'll just use this one for one bedside, and then the other side, maybe they don't have a lamp. Maybe this is just for one sim. We'll put like the notebook. I put this everywhere. I love it. Maybe a little, team photo right here. I wish we had glasses like in that one kit. Ooh, maybe these little tissues. Actually, that's kind of cute. That looks realistic. And then we just need some art in here. I love this piece so much. Or should we put mirrors? Oh, we do need a mirror in here, actually. I feel like that's an important thing to add. Maybe this one right here. That will do. We need something here. Some kind of like place to sit, something at the foot of the bed. I don't actually really like this style-wise, but for the lack of anything else, I feel like that looks kind of cute there. And then maybe we can use one of these like kind of wide paintings here that would fit well over the bed. I think this one won't be the only one that I really like, to be honest. And then we do need to select some curtains in here as well. I feel like we have to use these curtains again, except I might try to like layer them up a little bit. That actually kind of looks nice. It's a little excessive, I know, but I don't hate that. What I do hate is the walls. Is the walls? I don't know language sometimes. I kind of want something a little bit more cozier. Ooh, I like that instantly. Now the door is kind of standing out, so we'll just make it like a dark wood door just to kind of help a little bit. I think we do need some more art over here. Personally, what if I put this lamp over on this bedside table, so we can just kind of like, cover this into with some clutter, just to add in some extra, bits of detail. And then on this side, we can get rid of the nightstand, and maybe we can just add a bookshelf. The only two bookshelves that are like one tile wide are these two here. I feel like this one is probably going to be the best bet. You know what? That does look a lot nicer. And then we can put like a proper painting or something right here on this wall. Ooh, this one is kind of perfect. It's big enough and it's very pretty. I feel like we need a plant. I haven't put enough plants in these rooms. Okay, well, that's the bedroom. Nice and cozy and warm. We went from this to this. Very simple and clean. But yeah, I know I didn't build like a normal house today, and it was just me building a bunch of rooms. But yeah, I hope y'all like this kind of format. I really enjoyed this, but I can go ahead and show you the befores ever so slowly. But yeah, you can see how dull and gray and sad they are. But that's the point. They're meant to be a blank kind of canvas for you to kind of, put whatever you want on, just like I did here. You can add your own decor. You can move things around. There's like lots of colors. You can just experiment. I feel like this is going to be a good way for me, especially if I'm in a building slump, to kind of figure out new ways to set up rooms. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. If you did, just please let me know in the comments down below by letting me know. Also, really quickly, I will leave a link in the description. I actually saw this idea by Maeve Plays here on YouTube. I completely forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video, but I saw her do a short of her transforming a room, and I was like, I really want to do this. I also just want to say a big thank you to my YouTube members. They're scrolling on the screen now. Thank you all so much for your support. It really does help me out a lot. And if you want to become a YouTube member, you'll just get early access to my videos, and you'll be supporting me here on the channel. I'll try to come up with some new perks. I'm still unsure what to do with that, but anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Do let me know. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you all so very much for watching. Stay weird, and I'll speak to y'all next time. Bye, y'all.